Welcome back to Ween Rabbit Hole.
Today we are reading I Am Amelia Earhart.
Huh?
Do you know who Amelia Earhart is?
No.
Ordinary People Change the World, the book is called. This is a story of a girl. And roller coasters?
No.
What is that?
A plane.
A plane. What did Amelia Earhart have to do with planes?
I don't know.
Huh. We're going to have to find out. This is just the beginning. I Am Amelia Earhart.
Okay.
When I was little, people told me that girls should wear dresses and play with dolls. They said we shouldn't have unladylike adventures. I didn't agree. Blah. In fact, when I was 7 years old, my sister and I decided to build our own roller coaster in our backyard. We placed 2 planks of wood up against the side of our tool shed. Grandma's not going to like this. I told you it was about roller coasters. The cab was a wooden packing box with roller skate wheels attached to the bottom. We greased the wood with lard so we'd move super fast. Amelia, are you sure this is a good idea? This isn't a good idea. It's the best idea. Of course, I got to write it first. This was my moment. Here we go in 3, 2, and...
Eek.
I still remember the wind in my face. My stomach seemed to sink. I was flying.
Flying?
What does Amelia Earhart have to do with flying?
What?
The crash was loud and noisy and messy and certainly wasn't ladylike, but it was awesome. That was awesome! Amelia Earhart, take this apart this instant! Grandma comes out yelling at her. It wasn't the last time I would fly. As I got older, I went to many air shows. When I was 23 years old, but still a kid at heart, my dad took me to meet Frank Hawks, a man who would eventually set many of his own flight records. For $10, Hawks agreed to take me on my very first test flight. Are you ready? Oh, I'm ready. So they jumped in a plane upside down. For 10 minutes, we flew through the sky and out over the Pacific Ocean. By the time I was 200 or 300 feet off the ground, I knew one thing. I had to fly.
What? How can a human fly if they don't have wings?
In an aeroplane.
Oh.
To save for my flying lessons, I worked as a truck driver, which wasn't ladylike either. Move it, Mac! A stenographer, which is a fancy schmancy word for someone who writes down what people say. Blah, 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 blah. And even a photographer. Say schnook.
Snook.
You know what we say? Zelle.
Zoe.
Like if you know that language. 6 months after I learned to fly, I bought a bright yellow used biplane that I named Canary. Canary? Isn't that a bird? Canary?
No.
I named Canary.
It's not a bird.
Canary. We're going to go with Canary because it's a bird.
It's not a bird.
Canary is a cool name for a plane, right?
Yeah.
This is my instructor, a woman named Netta Snook. That is her real name. But here's my secret. I wasn't a natural. I wasn't the best pilot. I just worked harder than anyone else. That's enough flying for today. Nope, I could do better. One more flight.
What?
She just kept practicing. The most important, like that day on the roller coaster, I dared to do what so many said couldn't be done. A girl flying across the Atlantic Ocean? Amelia, are you sure this is a good idea? This isn't a good idea. It's the best idea. I became the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean and then the first woman to fly by myself across the Atlantic.
What?
Back then, people took boats to get to Europe, sailing for weeks. Planes were still a new thing. In fact, on the day I took off, one magazine ran an article that said, woman would never be able to fly that far. You know, we know when you go to Europe,
Yeah.
people used to have to take boats. But I did it.
Titanic?
Not quite. Steamship. But it sort of looks like one, yeah?
Yeah.
To do it, I had to fly for 14 hours.
Titanic has one more smokestack.
To do it, I had to fly for 14 hours and 56 minutes with no rest, no break. Sometimes the sun was so blinding I could barely see where I was going. In the process, I also broke the record for crossing the ocean in the shortest time, doing it faster than any man or any woman ever. This is awesome!
I don't think so.
You've flown across the Atlantic.
I know.
You've been to Europe a couple of times now. In October 1922, I broke the women's altitude record by rising to 14,000 feet. And in July 1930, I set the speed record of over 181 miles an hour. You know when we're flying down the highway doing like 70?
Yeah.
She did 180.
Yeah.
Then I broke an altitude record, which is just a fancy word of saying I went higher than anyone else. How high did I go? When I read done reading them. About 12 Empire State Buildings straight up. And at that time, no woman had ever gone that high. Empire State is a building in New York. I don't think you know anything about that, right?
No.
In my life, I took many flights. Every single time, there was someone who said I wouldn't be able to do it.
Who?
Never let anyone stop you. Whatever your dream is, chase it. Work hard for it. You will find it. It is the best lesson that I can give you. I always say, if you have a plan, how does it go? If you make a plan B, if you make a plan B, you never stick to your plan A. You can't have a plan B.
What's a plan A?
Your path in life. I am Amelia Earhart. I know no bounds, and I hope you'll remember that the greatest flight you'll ever take is the one no one has tried before.
Who?
Never interrupt somebody doing what you said couldn't be done.
Is this a real pizza? Nah, it's just a plant.
But it's really her. That's her, Amelia Earhart.
Wait.
She was a real person. She was the very first woman to fly across the Atlantic.
What?
This is a mini biography of somebody.
This is a book
her.
all about her?
A real person.
What?
Her at age 7. Her in the cockpit in 1936.
Well, this book is all about her?
It's called a biography, yeah. I am Amelia Earhart. This book is all about her.
Yeah.
Amelia with her first plane, the Kinner Airster biplane, which she named Canary. Sure.
Okay.
That's it. Cool, right?
Hey,
I am Amelia Earhart, and I know no bounds.
come on.
Cool?
Yeah. Okay, guys, stay awesome and...
Keep reading! How about stay awesome, man?
Keep
flying!
Oh, keep flying! Oh, that was a good ending for that one.